Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're making a shiur daytime. You know? The Bola Batia. Okay. Today we want to follow the parashiyot. So we just finished Vayechi. Vayechi. We hear what is Yaakov's will to his sons. Okay? Then we start Sefer Shmot. What is Shmot? Names. And right afterwards, I want to explain you several things that we learn in the parasha. So, Sefer Shmot is Exodus, is the redemption of Am Yisrael. The Israel are living in Egypt, and who is chosen to take them out of Egypt? Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is the leader of Am Yisrael that was chosen to redeem them. Okay? Good. I'm sure you know that Moshe Rabbeinu was very, very special. It was very unique. But I want you to look at the name of Moshe Rabbeinu and what did he teach us. Before we start with names, I'll start with a funny little kind of a story about names, naming. So, this story is about Rav Lehman. Rav Lehman, he was the rabbi of Mainz, I believe, in Germany. And one day, he was supposed to meet with a group of some other rabbis, the king in Germany. So this meeting, they arranged a long time before. You know, it was supposed to be something very special. He was looking for it, he was looking into it, making phone calls, making arrangements. So he's about to leave his house, he's waiting for the coachman to come and pick him up. All of a sudden a Jew knocks at his door. He wants his advice. So some people are asking yes or no, and then they go. Some people, they start a whole mishavah. Rabbi, I love your classes, I love your shiurim. I can tell you all whatever you said last week, all whatever you said the week before. I love your stories, and starts telling his stories. The rabbi says, it's very nice, but I'm in a hurry. Can you be specific with what exactly you want? So he tells him, yeah, last time my son gave birth to a baby boy, and I came to you and you advised me who's going to be the sandak. I want you to help me again, whatever. So fine. And then he tells me, but I want also you to suggest me for a name for the little one. And so the rabbi is, the train is leaving in 20 minutes. I must be in the train station. I cannot wait here. So he tells him, call him. Call him Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zvulun, Gad, Naphtali, Dan, Asher, Yosef, call him, doesn't matter. And he's running to his whatever, yeah. Fine, he gets there, and then as he reaches the train station, he sees that the train just left. He missed that train. And the rabbis couldn't leave without him. There were a whole delegation going to meet the king. It's very not respectful when you miss a meeting with the king. He didn't know what to do with himself. They were sitting and discussing, so what should we say? Which excuse should we... You know, they were sitting and talking about some other issues, and then the news came. They found to know that the train that they were supposed to go on, God forbid, was involved in some kind of an accident, a lot of injuries, a lot of things. They were stuck on the way. They couldn't continue. Definitely, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't make it to meet the king. So he was very happy. This man, they never saw him again, the one that bothered him, and for a long time he thought that he met Eliyahu Navi because he was the one that saved him, and the other rabbis from a big trouble. Fine. 13 years later, this man comes to him again. And he's like, Rabbi, do you remember me? I came to you once and I called and I asked you some questions, and the rabbi all of a sudden remember. He said, yeah, I thought you were in the Navi the other time, whatever. And he's like, Rabbi, I want to invite you to my grandson's bar mitzvah. He's bar mitzvah now. So the rabbi said, sure. He took the time, he took the place, he took the address, and he goes, as he comes to the shul, the boy is supposed to go to the Torah, and they tell him, so, Ya'amod, who's going to stand to the Torah? And they say, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, and the rabbi is like, who gives so many names to a little boy? He says, Rabbi, you gave this name. He said, what do you mean I gave this name? You told me, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. And he listened. He was so innocent that he really listened to what the rabbi said. So,
that's good. Why?
This is when we speak about names, right? Naming. I want to ask you a question. Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen to redeem Am Yisrael. You know, Moshe Rabbeinu had at least 10 names that people named him. Everybody named him a different name. It says, בילקוט ויקרא, it says, 10 names Moshe Rabbeinu was given. In Devarim, it says that his mother, Yocheved, it says in Devarim, ואשתו היהודייה, זו יוכבד, שהעמידה יהודים בעולם, she brought a lot of Jewish people to the world, ילדה את ירד, ירד משה. Why he was called Yered? Why did she name him Yered? בגלל שהוא הוריד, he brought down the Torah from heaven to earth, to the people, to the Jews. Right? So she called him Yered. Okay? Then he was named Avigdor. What is Avigdor? Avigdor, he was the first one who put gates to the Jewish people. You know, they got a lot of troubles, they got a lot of problems, they had a lot of obstacles. He was the one that protected them, took care of them. Chever, he was the one that cheber, that connected Jewish people to their Father in heaven. חיבר את אביהם, את הבנים, the children, לאביהם שבשמיים, to their Father in heaven. אבי סחור, מה זה אבי סחור? He was the father of all the prophets ששוחים ברוח הקודש. They are usually the one that has רוח הקודש, divine spirit, and he was the father of all of them. He was known like he was the biggest of all of them. Yekutiel, Yekutiel from the word tikva. Tikva means hope, right? He made the children, the sons, hoping, always, constantly, have hope in Hashem, right? He put them a lot of midat bitachon, trust in Hashem. Avi Zenoach. Zenoach from the word to forget. He made them forget the biggest sin that they had, Chet HaEgel, the golden calf. זה כתוב, אמרת, בילקוט ויקרא. מדרשים. Rabbi Yehuda ben Eli also mentioned that his name was Tuvia. Why? Because when he was born, it says, ותרא אותו כי טובו. All of a sudden, the whole house was lit. It was a lot of light, special light, not a regular light. And it was a very special delivery. It wasn't a regular, baby boy that was just born. Rabbi Ishmael ורבי עמי אומר, שמעיה. His name was שמעיה, שכתוב, ויכתוב שמעיה בן נתנאל הסופר. שמעיה, that Hashem listened to his prayers, בן נתנאל, בן שניתנה לו תורה מיד כל. בן, a son, that Hashem gave him the Torah. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Kocha, which was the son of Rabbi Akiva, says, אף לוי היה שמו, על עיקר משפחתו. Levi, that's the name of the family, the big name of the family. They were all Levim, right? So his name was also Levi, Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay. Moshe, that's the last one. Hare Asara. Together, there are 10 names. Who gave him the name Moshe? Batia gave him the name Moshe because she pulled him out of the water. Right? Okay. I want to ask you a question. These names that were given to Moshe Rabbeinu were not just regular names. They were names that were given in Ruach HaKodesh. One of them Aaron, his brother, gave. One of them Miriam, his sister, gave. One of them his father gave, Amram. One of them his mother gave. Am Yisrael. Hashem even named him one of these names. Why these names were not chosen? Why Bitia's name was chosen? I'm sure that Amram was the Gdol Ador, was the biggest rabbi at that time. And when he gives a name, I'm sure he has a meaning to the letters, He has a meaning to the meaning. He knew why he names his boy a certain name. And still, these names were not chosen. Only Bitia's name was chosen. So it's interesting. Amram got divorced from his wife, Yocheved, because of the slavery, right?
Because of what?
The slavery. Moshe, Paro wanted to outsmart the Jewish people. So he asks his advisors what to do. They said, kill the boys. Maybe, we will take the girls. We will ruin the whole Am Yisrael. So he doesn't want to have more children, not have problems. Miriam, the little girl, comes to him and tells him, Abba, Paro Gazar al-Azcharim. Only, he had a decree only on the male, and you have a decree also on the female. That's not fair. That's not what Hashem wants from you. He listened, and because of her, he remarried his wife. I want to ask you a question. How old was Yocheved when she gave birth to Moshe? How old was Sarah when she gave birth to Yitzchak? 90. It's a big miracle. A lot of people, the whole Torah, there's such a big description, right? That she wasn't able to have children, and at this age, all of a sudden, she got her period after so many years, and it's a whole big miracle when a 90-year-old woman gives birth. Yocheved was 130 when she gave birth to Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, this pregnancy is a pregnancy of Mesirut Nefesh. It's her health that involves here. It's not easy for a 50-year-old woman, or a 90-year-old woman, or a 130-year-old woman to give birth. It's not easy.
But that means she was also old when she had the other kids.
Right.
She was still old.
Right.
They were all already growing.
No. Aaron was 3 years older.
Miriam was 6, and Moshe was 130.
So when he came back,
What about
he remarried?
Miriam?
No.
Miriam
6.
Aaron 3. She remarried, that's when Moshe was born.
Right. This is when Moshe was born. 130. Basically, pregnancy of Mesirut Nefesh. All of these pregnancies, like you say, were Mesirut Nefesh, one big Mesirut Nefesh. So, and when he was born, the whole house was filled with light, special light. Yocheved is very sorry that she might not, in this age, see how he gets married. She doesn't know. Would she see? Every woman, you go to a brit, you bless the woman, the mother, that she'll be able to see her son grow to become a chacham, to see his wedding, right? These are the blessings that we usually bless the yoledet. Who knows if she's going to stay alive to see how he gets married? And with the decree of Paro that she's supposed to kill her son right after she gives birth, Bechlal, it's a whole big question mark. She doesn't know what happens. So in her, she's so sorry. She doesn't know what's going to be the future. It says in one of the Midrashim that she, in the basket that she prepared for him to put him in the Nile, she prepares chupat neurim. Chupat neurim is like a small little chuppah that she prays that at least if she won't see her son get married, but she prays that everything should be okay, that he will be able to build a family, he will be able to continue his life, and God forbid not to die there in the Nile. Moshe Rabbeinu, he is in this little basket in the Nile. Who comes out of everybody to see him? Batia, the daughter of Paro. This is a big danger thing. She's the daughter of the enemy, right? It happens to be that Batia was a special woman, and she didn't believe in her father's idol worshipping. And they said that she came to the Nile to wash herself from idols, like going to the mikvah. That's how pure she wanted to be. And of course, there was this miracle. She she stretched her hand and she reached this baby. Before she stretched her hand, when she sees the baby, it says that she hears the boy cry. Not a baby, a boy. He's adult already. He's like a teenage voice. It's not a little boy voice. Why it says that he was a nar? He wasn't a baby. So one day there was this man that he was supposed to meet the king. For all the troubles of his fellow Jews, he wants to meet with him, and once he's talking to the king, he gets so excited that he starts talking too loud. And the king tells him, "Why you speak too loud? I hear you." He felt embarrassed for a second and said, "My dear king, it's not my voice. It's the voice of all the 1,000 people that I represent. You know, this is Moshe Rabbeinu. He doesn't cry for himself. From young age, he was caring for other people. So when we say that she heard a voice of adult crying, it's crying for all the problems, all the sufferings that his brothers, the Jews, went through at that time in Egypt. This is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was a very, very special man. And if we speak already about this chupat ne'orim, I want to tell you a real story that happened, and which will give us an answer why the name Moshe was picked out of all the other names. This story is about the Marsha. Marsha was Rabbi Shmuel Eliezer Halavi Eidos. That was his name. Many years ago, in Austria, in Europe, a dedication for a new shul was happening. A lot of people were gathering, rabbis, distinguished people, politicians, and Jewish people. The rabbi comes to the stage and he said, "Listen, the gentlemen, we just met here to start the building of the new shul. We really need a lot of money." He says, "I guarantee whoever is going to come up and give the biggest sum, we need a big sum of money to build the shul. Whoever is going to do that, I guarantee, I promise him that every wish he wants will be granted. But somebody needs to come with all the money. We cannot go from one to another. We don't have time for that." One man comes. He's a rich man, very simple but rich man. He comes to the rabbi and says, "I can do it." The rabbi said, "Everything in one shot, money, cash tomorrow, everything?" He says, "Yes." "What is your wish?" He said, "Well, I married my wife for the past 20 years. Hashem granted me with wealth and health and time and everything. I don't have children. I want one son that will become big Talmid Chacham. That's my wish in life." The rabbi looks at him and he tells him, "Okay, I'll think about that." The next day he comes, as promised, with this big sum of money, cash, everything. "Rabbi, you promised me. What about the promise? What about the granting my wish?" The rabbi said, "You know, I was looking into it. It's not so easy. It's not so simple in heaven. I could grant you this wish, but you'll have to give a lot for that." He says, "If you want a son that will be a big Talmid Chacham, you'll have to lose all your money. You'll be a poor man. God forbid, Hashem will take your life. You're not going to live to see your son become a Talmid Chacham, but then also your wife will die. Do you want that? Do you really want that?" So he tells him, "Rabbi, I cannot say, for me, I don't care, but I have to ask my wife because it's her life also." He goes to his wife and they think and rethink about this thing. His wife tells him, "Listen, who should we leave all our money? We need to have somebody that will continue our name, our legacy."
There will be no money.
So she said, "I'm willing to sacrifice my life for it. I don't care. I want a son." So he goes back to the rabbi and he tells him, "Rabbi, we're willing to sacrifice our life for it, and our money, and all whatever we have, so that we haven't one son. Fine. The rabbi blesses him with all his heart, that he will have a son that will be a special man, that will enlighten the world with his Torah, and he goes home. He's not reaching the house. He gets a phone call from his wife that they used to have a big warehouse full of all the crops and the harvest that they collected the whole year. Everything was burned. Then he comes home, and then it starts like one big wave after the other. He loses your money, he loses their money, the stocks, the shipment that was supposed to come, the money in the bank, the money in here, the money in there, everything. He lost his house in the fire, and that's it. They're left with nothing, nothing, nothing. Then, as he goes through these troubles, he feels that he gets sick. He feels it. He goes to the doctor tells him, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything. It's a matter of a few weeks. And it's a matter of a few weeks. So fine, he's trying to write a will, and he wasn't able even to continue it because he just couldn't. He was sick, and he died. His wife got pregnant. That's the good news about it. She got pregnant just before he died. And she carries this 9 months. She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have a house. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have anything. She's like a poor woman, goes to, like a beggar, goes from house to house to get some food. And when she was about to give birth, she was going away from her little town because she felt so embarrassed. She didn't know what to do with herself. She comes to a place that nobody knows her, and she feels that labor starts. So she knocks at somebody's door. Poor family, a baker and his wife living there, and she's like, please, I need a place. Sure, they let her come in. They prepare for her a room. She lays in bed. The labor was very, very hard. Such a hard labor. As she goes through this, she feels that her strength leaves her. She won't be able to go through this. She feels that that's their last moment. And then she gave birth to this little boy. And the baker's wife is trying to make her happy. Don't worry, our little boy, he's healthy, he's fine. She says, yes, he's fine, he's healthy, but I don't know if I'll be able to see it because I feel that I'm losing it. She tells her, don't worry. And she tries to encourage her. She tries to tell her, everything will be okay, don't worry. You know, she tells her, I also gave birth just a few weeks ago. I gave birth to a little girl. And so if you won't be able to breastfeed, don't worry. I can nurse her. I can take care of her. Of him. And so, don't worry. And she's like, thank you. And she tells her, to encourage her, to give her some spirit, she tells her, I could promise you that I will take care of him, don't worry. And she's, please, can you take care of him? Because I see that I can't. So she tells him, don't worry. If you want, I can promise you that my little girl, will marry him. Let's make a small little chuppah. You will have some. So they make like she kind of imagines her seeing her son getting married, and this is how peacefully she left the war. This little boy was raised by this woman. She gave, she fed him, she protected him, she took care of him. They took him to schools, the rabbis taught him, and he was a very, very talented boy. He knew, he was very, he had very, very good qualities. He caught everything very fast. He remembered, he knew, he learned, he knew. And when it was time for him to get married, a lot of people wanted to marry him because he had very good qualities. He was, you could see that he's going to be a big rabbi. He's going to write a lot of chidushim and everything. But he didn't want to marry to nobody. He knew that his parents promised to each other. So he said, I'm going to take my daughter, the daughter of my benefactors. I won't, even though people promised him money, even though people promised him wealth and fame and huge homes and assets and everything, he didn't care. He got married to her. After he got married to her, he wrote a lot of chidushim. He wrote this in this book. It's called Chidushah Maisha, every Masechet of the Shas, in the end, it's written his Chidushim.
What's the name? Explanation.
Marsha. So,
Where do you talk about?
Chidushim about the Shas, about the Gemara. So, his name was Rabbi Shmuel Eliezer Eidos.
Rabbi Shmuel.
Eidos, Shmuel Eliezer. Eidos was not his mother's name. Gittel was his mother's name. But he wasn't called Gittel, he was called Eidos, after his mother-in-law, the one that raised him. Because this is something that's hard to understand. Yes, his mother gave her life, his father gave his life and all their wealth and everything so that he's going to come to the world. But they did it because it was their child. This woman, Eidos, she brought him, she raised him in Missoula. She didn't really have to. It wasn't her son. It was her responsibility in life to do it. And she did. And because of that, he was named after her. For him it was a kavod. For him it was a respect, a honor to be called after her because out of her way she came to raise him. This is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was called only by the name that Batia gave him. Not his father, Gdolado, not even Hashem, not brothers, not sisters, not mother, not nobody. Just Batia, the one that cared, the one that got out of the way to save him. She didn't have to. It wasn't her responsibility. And yet, he appreciated it very much. This is akaratatu. This is gratitude that we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu. Listen, girls, without this, there's no... If people are not grateful for the things that we get, this is the foundation of everything. There's no life afterwards. Moshe Rabbeinu, in this last parasha, Parashat Vayechi, we hear about Yaakov Avinu gives a will to his sons. Basically, to every son he gives whatever quality he needs to work on. This is when people give, big people, whenever they give a will to their children, they want something that will help to their life, what they can learn from this, basically. Same did David HaMelech. When he passed away, that's what we read in the last parashas. After we read about the will that David HaMelech leaves to his son Shlomo. Okay? And a nice list that he leaves him as a king, to a king, what to do. What's interesting things that we read in this week's Haftarah, David HaMelech tells him, you know, there is a person by the name Barzilai Giladi, very old person, and I want you to put him on your table every day and to eat with him. Shlomo Melech. Barzilai Giladi, who is he? What is so special about Barzilai Giladi? Imagine to yourself David HaMelech running away from his own palace, from his own son. His own son Avshalom wants to kill him. What kind of feeling is that when your own son, God forbid, when his own son wants to kill him? Very, very bad, strange situation, you know? So he's running away. He's in a very low position now. He's chased by people, by his enemies. You know, at this moment, you could see sometimes who is your friend, who is not. Comes Shimi ben Gera, starts cursing him. Comes this, comes that. And then comes Barzilai Giladi. Barzilai Giladi wasn't a special man. He wasn't so educated. He wasn't something special. Nothing. But at the moment when David HaMelech needed help, he was there to help. He says, I see that it's a hard situation for you now. I come with some food, with some drinks, with some linens to the king. Maybe he needs some place to rest, some clean blankets, pillows, something. Anything you need, I'm here for you. And the king was so appreciating for that because he was the right man at the right moment. He needed that at that second. Even if not for him, for the people that were with him. They didn't have so much to drink. They didn't have so much to eat. They didn't rest, properly. And David HaMelech felt so appreciated that in his will, he tells Shlomo HaMelech, take care of him. Bring him to your table. Respect him. Because he was there at the moment that I needed him the most. This is King David. Moshe Rabbeinu was 40 years the leader of Am Yisrael. He went through tough times, through good times. It wasn't easy for Moshe Rabbeinu to be the leader of Am Yisrael. We like to complain. We like to question. We are stubborn. We're not easy people to. And so he was there for 4 years with them. See how interesting it is. When he passes away, in Sefer Dvarim, the whole Sefer Dvarim basically is a whole big will that Moshe advises, that he gives to the Jewish people. What he tells him in Parashat HaAzinu, he tells him that Hashem took care of the Jewish people so much. Kenesher Ya'ir al Kino, it says in Parashat HaAzinu. Like the eagle takes care of its babies, protects them so much. That's how Hashem protected you, took care of you out of Egypt, protected you in the desert for 40 years. The cloud and the man and all the good things that they got in the desert, they didn't feel that they were in the desert, nothing. They were so comfortable, everything was, they don't even have to work, to provide, to worry about anything. Everything is there for them, for millions and millions of people, constantly, all the time. And, but what happens? Vayishman Yeshurun Vayiv'at. You got fat from all the good things that you got, and Vayiv'at. Yeshurun is Am Yisrael, Vayishman Yeshurun, Vayiv'at. You kicked out. You're not appreciating. You don't care. You don't want this. Shamanta, Avita, Kasita. You became fat, too fat from all the good things that Hashem gave you. Vatishkach el mecholelecha, and then you forgot Hashem, the one that created you, the one that gave you so much. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu tells to the Jewish people. So, in Parashat Va'etchanan, he tells them something interesting. He says, he describes how Bnei Israel they got the Torah, and he warns them. Pen tashchitun, be careful. ועשיתם לכם פסל בכל תמונה, ועשיתם לכם פסל תמונת כל סמל. When you got the Torah, you didn't really see God. There was no image. He talked to you from afar. And so he tells them, now you have to be careful. Once you're going to get to Israel, don't make idols. Idols? These were the people that accepted the Torah from Hashem themselves. Why he tells them, talk about kashrut, talk about Shabbat, talk about tefillin. Why are you talking about idols? Why they should, worship idols? Because Moshe Rabbeinu tells them that, let me continue something. Right afterwards, he tells them, "V'Hashem itanav bi al divlechem." Also, at me, Hashem got angry at that moment, and because of that, because of, I was hitting the rock instead of talking to it. Hashem punished me, and I don't go to Israel with you. So then, be careful not to worship idols. What's the connection between whatever Hashem was upset at Moshe and the fact that they got the Torah and Hashem took care of them, and now they might worship idols? So to answer that, I want to explain you from a story. I heard this from Rav Laosh in Israel. He says something interesting. Rav Yonatan Eibeshitz, he was the rabbi of Prague. And before he became the rabbi of Prague, Prague is the capital city of Czechoslovakia. Before he became the chief rabbi over there, he was a rabbi of a small little town. And for this small little town, he was really there for many years. He gave all his life. He cared so much for the people. He created everything basically from scratch. Built a new system of mikvaot, new system of kashrut, new system of shiur Torah, everything. Caring one by one, people questioning, asking, shiur for women, shiur for men. whatever Rabbi needs to do for the community, he did for them. So his name became very popular, and people from Prague came to ask him to be their rabbi. But he's hesitating. It's a bigger community, but it's much bigger fame. It's not for the fame, it's bigger, maybe better salary, maybe. But he's still hesitating because he gives so much his life to this little town. He likes it. He got comfortable with this. It's okay. He's okay with this. But they keep asking him. They keep calling him. They keep sending him messages. Rabbi, please, we want you. You want you. We'll increase your salary. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. So then he doesn't have a choice. He needs to. He needs to go to the big city. But still, he kind of hesitates. He asks the movers to come, but he makes them wait. For a whole week, they're waiting next to his house. And he does everything slowly, slowly. Nobody understands, why so slow? Come on, let's go. Then eventually, he wants to give a drasha to his community. He calls everybody to the shul. He asks them to come, and he comes and he talks to them. He tells them, be careful. When I leave, I want you to be careful. I want you to keep Shabbat. I want you to keep kashrut. I want you to keep mezuzot. The people are like, Rabbi, what do you suspect us of? Of course we're going to keep Shabbat, kashrut, and everything. What do you think? The rabbi says, well, I'll tell you what. I'm rabbi here for many, many years. And I thought maybe giving so much to this community, hearing that people are calling me from another place, you will come and you say, Rabbi, please don't go. Please, we like you so much. We really appreciate all what you did for us. Please, maybe you can stay. Maybe we cannot pay you so much, but we want you to stay here. Nobody came. Nobody said anything. If you forgot so quickly all whatever I did for you, who knows? Tomorrow you're going to forget what's Shabbat. Tomorrow you're going to forget what's mezuzot. Tomorrow you're going to forget this thing. Because when people tend to forget, they tend to forget. That's exactly what happened to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu tells the people, I was with you for 40 years. And then Hashem tells you, you are not going to get into Israel. I thought